Here we go. We have yet another Christmas story. But this one is Margaret and Harry's Merry Christmas, Curious George. Love Curious George. So here we go. So this is written by Cathy Hapka, illustrated in the style of H.A. Ray by Mary O'Keefe Young. This is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow cat. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George was visiting a Christmas tree farm. "You can help me pick out the perfect tree for our home," his friend told him. "Keep close to me while we look." George promised to be good, but the little monkey sometimes forgets. The Christmas tree farm had more trees than George had ever seen. He found a very nice one right away, but then another caught his eye. George could not resist climbing up the tallest tree to get a better view. He looked for the man in the yellow hat, but his friend was nowhere in sight. Two men trapped into clearing. "There's our tree," one man told the other. The men cut down the tree and loaded it onto a truck. Oh no. Along with George. George held on tightly. He saw the man with the yellow hat as the truck drove away, but the truck was going too fast. George could not jump off. He was scared, but still a little curious. And soon the truck stopped in front of the hospital. George peeked out of its branches as the men carried the tree inside. Looks like it's going to the children's hospital. The hospital was a busy place. George jumped out of the tree. There was lots to see and do. He looked at some interesting pictures. He found a jacket and tried it on. He played on a trampoline. He even went for a ride on a speedy little cart. What fun! Then George spotted something very interesting. His tree. George knew that Christmas trees were supposed to have tinsel and twinkling lights and shiny ornaments, but this tree was empty. George thought, and then he had an idea. So it looks like he's decorating stuff with the stuff around the hospital. So get well balloon, some x-rays. These are called charts. Looks like a crutch is in there. He decorated with toilet paper and masks, cups, plates, whatever he could find, it looks like. That little curious monkey. But it looks like they were also going to do a tree decorating contest. Or decorating party. Next, George noticed the pile of gifts in the corner of the room, but the gifts looked pretty. But George was curious. Could he make them look even prettier? This red bow would look much better on a green box, and the name tags might look different or nicer on different packages too. The nurse arrived, and what did she see? A monkey, and he's making a big mess. A group of children crowded around the nurse. They were all patients at the hospital. Even though it was almost Christmas, the children were not smiling or looking happy. "Come along," said the nurse, picking George up. "I'd better get you out of here before you can ruin anything else." A girl at the calf stared at George's tree. Suddenly she giggled. "Look, it's my x-ray." A boy laughed and said, "There's the balloon from my room." And all the children started chattering and laughing as they looked at George's funny decorations. "Can he stay for the party?" a boy asked the nurse. "We don't mind about the gifts. It will be fun to sort them out. Please let him stay, please," other children chimed in. When he saw how happy the children looked, the nurse looked happier too. "I suppose he can stay if he promises to help fix the tree." George was happy to help. The children helped too. Some of them returned George's decorations, while others handed George the real ornaments. He scampered up and down, stringing lights and hanging tinsel, being a monkey. He was good at that sort of thing. He was also good at making the children laugh. When the tree was finished, George helped open the gifts. He was having such a good time that he completely forgot he was lost, until the man with the yellow hat hurried in the room. "There you are, George!" he cried. "I followed that truck all the way here." George was very happy to be reunited with his friend, and the nurse invited them both to stay for milk and cookies. And it looks like with his mix-up, they're having to, like, exchange gifts and figure out whose they actually are. Oh, 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 did someone mention milk and cookies? A man in a red suit walked into the room, his belly jiggling. He was holding a beautiful golden star. George's eyes widened. It was Santa Claus. "Who would like to put the tree or the star on the top of the tree?" Santa asked. "George!" the children cried at once. "George, do it!" George scurried up the tree one last time. He got in the golden star, placed carefully. Merry Christmas, Curious George. And that was Merry Christmas, Curious George. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that for those of you who are starting to get on break, you are starting to take care of yourselves. We're getting close to the end of this year. Lots of hopeful things are happening, right? So just remembering to keep looking forward, right? Keep moving forward. Keep being safe. Keep, taking care of yourselves. Talking to people on the phone. Give people phone calls because we all could use them, right? So with that, George and I say, we'll see you next time.